Hiya, it's Film Wolfie here again for another new video I'm doing. Today it's going to be a bit boring. I can't decide on anything else to do. It's cold outside in Britain, so what we'll do, I'm going to do the first of a 6 book review of my many cinema books that I have, and I'll also do in the future some DVD reviews as well. Before I start, just a couple of things. Hello to my friends on HNCA. Hope you're all well, and hope I'm not scaring you too much. Special messages. Hello beautiful, I love you very much. You know what I'm talking about. And also I'd like to say for my friend Jeremy, he's got a YouTube as, I'm not sure how you say it, but Rollster Wolf. He's trying to get a lot of people clicking onto his YouTube channel so that he can do a book, which I'm sure is going to be very interesting, about his life. So please click onto his YouTube channel, and he wants as many people as he can so he can start his book. As I say, sorry if you get boring, but that's me. Anyway, we'll get on to the first book. Right, well, the first book I'm going to review is Fear Without Frontiers. It's quite a nice little book about horror films all over the world, in Europe, Asia, India. See that? It covers all sorts of things. Should we see those pictures? Oh, boobies. Spanish Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The colour pictures there. The Turkish Exorcist. Great little book, as you said. It covers Italian zombie films, Italian gallios, the German Edgar Wallace thrillers, all sorts of stuff. So it's a very interesting read. It's not quite as good as Mondo Macabre, which I'll review another day for you, but it's quite a very good read. The second one is more in my field really. It's Amicus Through the Drip Blood, which is of course the story of another British horror film studio, Amicus, which specialised in the horror anthologies really, like this, The House That Dripped Blood, Asylum, Vault of Horror, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. So again, it's a lovely little book with colour pictures and a chapter on each film. There's Ingrid Pitt, who sadly died last week. Starting with the early Amicus films, such as Horror Hotel, it goes on to the first of the anthology films, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. And then some other one-off stories like The Skull. Features the main players for Amicus, which of course were the usual people like Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. They did a couple of Doctor Who films with Peter Cushing as Doctor Who. Psychopath, which is quite a rare film, which I have on video, DVD rather. Torture Garden, which is another anthology film. Scream and Scream Again. House of Drip Blood again with dear old Ingrid. I Monster, again quite a rare Amicus film, and another version of the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story. And so on. Tales from the Crypt, which is a very good horror anthology. Asylum, also another great film. Sorry about that, that's my cat.
Shush.
And now Screaming Starts, another
Shush.
quite rare Amicus film. Vault of Horror, the least of the Amicus anthology films I think, but still pretty good. Madhouse, I like that film with Vincent Price and Peter Cushing. Each chapter gives a good layout of the films, how they did, a few anecdotes about making. Tales from Beyond the Grave, which is my absolute favourite Amicus anthology film. And so on up until the last, which were the adventure films, The Land That Time Forgot, At the Earth's Core, and The People That Time Forgot. As you can see, a lavishly illustrated book, and it's quite good fun to read. Unfortunately, they finished with such dreck as The Monster Club, which is, without saying too much, pretty awful. Anyway, a nice little book. Book 3 is again along the lines of the Amicus one, but a more well-known, this needs no introduction really, the Hammer story, which, as the name suggests, covers the Hammer Studios, just making a comeback now with Let Me In. Covers the very beginnings of Hammer Studios. Again, a very lovely, lavish book. Covering pretty much all of the Hammer films in their first life, so to speak, from the 1930s up to their big breakthrough with the Quatermass Experiment. A few more science fiction like X the Unknown, Quatermass 2. Then we go on to the famous breakthroughs, of course, like The Curse of Frankenstein, The Abominable Snowman, the Hammer War films, Dracula, of course, another film that really made their name. These are the best films to come from Hammer, I think. Little sections on the famous actors, again, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee. Each film in anthology order. Hound of the Baskervilles, Peter Cushing. Man Who Could Cheat Death, which is one of my least favourite Hammer films. The Mummy, another famous one with Christopher Lee as the Mummy. Section on behind the scenes in the films. A couple of lesser known ones, The Ugly Duckling, a comedy, and The Stranglers of Bombay. Two Cases of Dr. Jekyll, Bride of Dracula, and so on. Terror of the Tongs, Curse of the Werewolf with Oliver Reed. Shadow of the Cat, again a not well known Hammer film. Place of Fear, a section on their suspense thrillers. You know, lovely pictures in this book. Great pictures, in fact. Oh, boobies again. Phantom of the Opera with Herbert Lom. Kiss of the Vampire. They did some action swashbucklers, so to speak, like Flashing Crimson Blade. And again, a lesser Hammer film, Evil of Frankenstein. The Gorgon. I think of some great pictures. Let's go on to the Hammer colour section in here. See, every film that Hammer made during the time is here. 1 million years BC with Raquel Welch. Prehistoric films. Einstein Created Woman. Hammer Glamour, which is more so my speciality, so to speak. Don't look, Andrew. Quatermass in the Pit, one of my favourite Hammer films. Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, the best of the Frankenstein series, I thought. It's all very good. Vampire Lovers, again with Ingrid Pitt. Hello, that's Madeline Smith. Hello, that's Blood from the Mummy's Tomb with Barry Leon. Hands of the Ripper, a Jack the Ripper story. Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde, a clever twist on the Dr. Jekyll story, of course. And then we'll go on to the Hammer comedies, which really was a sign that they were waning and disappearing from the scene and then hitting bad times. Twins of Evil, Vampire Circus, all good later Hammer films with vampires, of course. Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter. Frankenstein the Monster from Hell. Satanic Rites of Dracula. Legends of the Seven Golden Vampires. And really, again, this was the finish of them. It was successful to The Devil a Daughter. But as I say, they went on to some TV series, and they did hit some bad times at the end, but they could well be on their way back. But a great little book, a good glossy book.